Good evening, everybody. Hope all of you had a great day. It's been a while since I made a video. I decided to make. I've been planning on making quite a few, but I just never had the time to do so. But now I'm here, so just want to discuss about my thoughts about the No Kings protest. So it's been over a week since we had the No Kings protest, and yes, the turnout was pretty high. So we had like over 7 million people, and this is one of the largest protests since the 1970s and all. However, my question is, what are the next steps? In other words, now what? Yeah, you can't rent out. You protested. Are you going to register voters? Because the Democrats have been losing a lot of voters, and they're still hemorrhaging voters to either independents or Republicans. Are you going to present an alternative vision of America? Listen, I understand that. Yeah, listen, Trump, yeah, he's overreaching his authority. His policies are harming a lot of us. But we need to talk about a plan that's going to help out working families and help out working class Americans too. I mean, this is the reason why we lost in the first place. Another thing is that you also gotta understand, just by looking at Trump, I'm not gonna throw in like any conspiracy theories or anything like that. That guy doesn't look like he's in the best of shape. In fact, I'm actually thinking he has he has like early stages of dementia. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying that he doesn't seem to be well aware of what's going on, you know. So as you can see here, it says like, yes, New King's protests from conservative states such as Texas and Tennessee, Florida. So even Trump countries marching against Trump. Yes, I mean this is taking place in all over the. I mean, I mean, down in Florida, you saw some in Sarasota. Actually, some in the Panhandle, I believe, as well. I mean, listen, you had like what over 2,700 events, and people were dressed up as funny characters. But my thing is this: okay, sure, you went out and protest. Now, seriously, how how do you plan on getting involved now? You got to carry that momentum and get involved in the local and state campaigns. Bring up some issues on what they're going to do to help uplift working class. That, and yes, and how you're going to bring back trust to institutions, because a lot of people still don't trust institutions, and just by having a protest, that's not going to regain people's trust. So you have to present an alternative vision, but most importantly, it's like start getting involved. That's all I can say. Start getting involved. Now, as you can see here, like last week, I was actually worried that because of the Virginia's governor's race, the early voting numbers were like seem to be taking place in Republican-leaning areas, whereas but now it seems like Democrats are starting to catch up in both New Jersey and Virginia. Now in New Jersey, as we see, like it looks like Mikey Sherrill. I originally thought that Jack Ciattarelli was going to win the governor's race back a couple of months ago, but it looks like Mikey Sherrill's the momentum is starting to favor Mikey Sherrill because of the government shutdown, what Trump is doing with the tariffs again, doing extra 10% on Canada for no reason. And people are just getting sick of it. The cost of living is still high. Nothing seems to be improving. In fact, things seem to be getting worse. And as for Virginia, yeah, they got hit with Doge as well. Now they had the government shutdown, so that screwed up the economy and in the state of Virginia. So yeah, I can see that if you live in the northern part of the state, you're going to be ticked off and you're going to vote for, I'm assuming, Abigail Spanberger. So I think she might win by double digits and all. But is this momentum going to carry forward to next year? I mean, you can't just keep attending protests and carry signs. I say transfer that energy to grassroots. That's the best way. And people are comparing this to the Tea Party. What you gotta understand is the Tea Party was bankrolled by a bunch of billionaires and a bunch of boomers. Yeah, they supported that. Yeah, supported to cut their own nose out by voting for a party that wants to defund Social Security and Medicare. Yeah, all the programs that FDR created to help create the modern working class. And then you got the Tea Party that just wants to find ways to disband them. Yeah. So cut me the spirit thing. It was about the deficit. I would never believe that thing for one sec. Okay, so yeah, I mean, so those are my thoughts about the No Kings protest. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of protesting because I think there's other ways to put your energy, like to get involved in stuff. I mean, if the no people that organizers the No Kings protest want to get involved, I mean that's probably the best thing they can do, because being a keyboard warrior is not going to help in this day and age. You need to actually talk to people, talk to different people, and heck, maybe you need to convince a few Republicans to join your cause. So yeah, so those are my thoughts, but I also want to bring another thing with the No Kings protest. Um, a lot of these attendees were people 40 plus. There wasn't a lot of young people. I mean, I guess because a lot of young people, especially Gen Z, they're favoring Trump in bigger numbers day by day. And I think people are just also disillusioned with the whole process and all. So, I mean, I think the best way to get young people is start talking to them, not talk down on them, but start talking to them and asking them to get involved as well. I mean, well, let's see what happens over time. I mean, so far, it looks like with the local elections in less than 2 weeks ago, local and state elections in less than 2 weeks ago, we all know about what's going to happen. I mean, I'm predicting that Virginia and New Jersey, they'll have Democratic governors elected, but I would like to know about some of the local races, such as the upcoming Miami election, as well as another statewide race, the Georgia Public Utilities Commission election, which is statewide, and Democrats in Georgia. That would be a huge blow to the Republicans. So if these protesters can transfer their grassroots energy into campaigning, organizing for candidates that are actually going to help them, because not all Democrats are are great politicians. A lot of them are corrupt and only line their own pockets. I'm talking to you, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, you know who you are, especially the establishment idiots who caught us in this mess. So yeah, so those are like my thoughts of what I have about the No Kings protest and what we can do going forward. So yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and let me hear what your thoughts are if you want on how we should go forward with this. All right, take care. Bye.